Ladies and gentlemen, get your shakers ready. It's martini time.
Welcome back to Magic Martini Monday. I'm Belladonna.
I'm Daniel.
And we are the Shields. Today we have Adam Wilber. He fooled Penn and Teller for those lay people out there. He is also a world famous master magician with 20 years experience, and he is the creator and owner of
Vulpine
Creations.
He's made a lot of things, and most magicians out there probably know his work even if they don't know him.
Exactly. All right.
Today's drink. Did we come up with a funny name?
The Wilbertini. No, Adam Teeny. I don't know. We'll call it. Let's think.
We'll call it our Vulpine Creation.
Oh, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your shakers ready. It's martini time. It's martini time.
The Vulpine Creation.
Quite nice. Alright, the effects. He opens up with a really fun little trick where he puts a couple of decks on the table and gets a spectator to choose one. That's the one they use, and the other ones he scrunches up into balls of paper and throws over his shoulder. And I was really impressed by that to start with. The spectator's selection seemed really natural, and crumpling up the decks is definitely something to grab people's attention, and it's a quick visual opener that gets people's attention, and you know I love openers.
Awesome. So Adam's next trick is for his daughter, and it's called the 4Qs, which is a version of McDonald's Aces, and it's really, really clever. I really enjoyed that.
It's a gimmickless version of McDonald's Aces. For those of you who knows what McDonald's Aces are, typically uses a gimmick card. This one can be done with a ungimmicked deck, and I quite enjoyed that. And it goes into 4-of-a-kind production Vanish as well with the same little routine. And the whole thing flows together really well, and again, it's basically impromptu, any deck, anytime, and that's always good for me. I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And his Shy Cork was following up from that, and that is such a cute little routine for anybody who wants to check that out. I highly recommend it. He has this way of making the cork look like it has a little personality and it's a little shy, and it's really wonderful. It's
a coin and cylinder routine at the heart of it, but it's his variation on it, and it is unlike what I've seen coin and cylinders do before. He does another effect where he pulls out a seemingly fresh deck of cards. He unwraps the cellophane out of it and shows them in new deck order and gets someone to pick 4 of a kind, and the entire deck, the back of the cards changes color, which from a sealed deck is an amazing effect, and he shows you how to go about doing all of that. And it had me fooled for a minute because of the sealed deck aspect, and that adds extra punch to any of your card effects that you can do.
Now for me, when I first saw the itinerary for this particular lecture, a part of me rolled my eyes a little bit and thought, oh, more cards, more coins, blah, blah, blah. However, by the end of this lecture, I was actually really delighted because most of Adam's card tricks didn't leave you with the feeling that you just watched card tricks. He's been very creative with a lot of his stuff. He did a lot of changes and prediction effects that seemingly were impossible and would absolutely blow a layperson away. A lot of the methods and effects he's come up with on his own. He uses a lot of little gimmicks that he lays out for you in his lecture, where you can buy them, how he uses them. He's got some exciting stuff coming out in his Volpine Creations business, which I highly recommend you check out that website and keep an eye on it. There is one thing in particular that I'm actually really interested that's coming out very soon, which is Genesis. I can't wait to see that come out.
Yep. And in line with Adam going off and making his own website, because he is that creative and comes up with a lot of stuff, he does take a break in the middle of the lecture and talks about theory and how to be creative, and he gives a whole lot of PDFs of spreadsheets and what you can write down and try and get the creative juices flowing. Shows you his creative process and how he comes up with his ideas, which is really good. But to have tools to help you come up with new ideas is definitely good. And a lot of people just go, yeah, think about what else you can do with this. And having a spreadsheet to put down your ideas and try and join the dots together, it's pretty helpful if you want to express yourself more and do your own thing.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact that Adam gives people access to a PDF where it shows that it breaks down the creative process for the magician in creating their own routines. Another thing that I will say about Adam is he is absolutely a marketing genius when it comes to presenting his card tricks and thinking 3 steps ahead beyond that, or 3 steps beyond that, and getting a relationship with the customer for repeat business. He's put a lot of thought into how he promotes himself and branding, and gives that information up to people who are watching the lecture quite freely. So that's really, really something that, even if you're not interested in seeing more card tricks, definitely check out this lecture for that alone.
He provides a trick, which is a magic trick, which essentially gets everyone to subscribe to your emailing list as well. So it's a really clever way to get more people on your emailing list and get your name out there.
Yep.
So he does break away from cards after he talks about the theory and goes into a lot of money magic, which is really great. One of the things that really stood out from this lecture was a trick that he calls splits. He shows you a single bill front and back, and then he grabs it from his corners and pulls it apart, and he ends up with 2 bills. And the way this gimmick is designed, the optical illusion of this object being split into 2, it just blew me away. And it's not just 1 bill, he pulls 2 or 3 or 4 bills out of a seemingly single bill, and he shows you how to make the gimmick. It's not that difficult, and he also shows you multiple different ways to use it. So it's not just with money, you can do it with cards, business cards, and that was really the standout trick in this lecture for me, was this, because it's just so visual. The money magic goes on to a few different things as well, where he essentially does a color change with a bill. It's hard to explain, but he does that. He's got a trick where a bunch of singles turn into a bunch of 5s and 100. A lot of money magic in this for anyone who is into that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I think it's important too in regards to the money magic. He has a creation in regards to the split that will actually work for Australian money. So definitely, if you're interested in money magic, it's very hard, especially in Australia, for us to be able to perform a lot of the money magic because of the way that our notes are. But the method that he's actually using is perfect for Australian money, US money, any money around the world, I think.
Yep.
And it's adaptable. It's adaptable for pretty much anything. So definitely that is one of the highlights for this lecture as well, yeah.
Absolutely. Then he wraps it up with a little bit more theory and one of his pet tricks called Grandfather's Top, which is a cute little spinning top that does some levitations and whatnot. That's a trick that he's still selling, so it's not really something you can make yourself, but it's good that he explains how it's done so you can go and buy it if that would fit what you do, which I kind of like. I don't like lectures where they show you something and don't explain it and say you have to go out and buy it. I don't really like that.
So now we're going to go to Adam, who is going to tell us who his favourite lecturer is and how it impacted him. Thank you, Adam.
Hey, so my favorite lecturer or lecturers is probably twofold. I haven't seen a whole bunch of lectures in my career. I live in the middle of nowhere, so there's not a lot of lectures where I live. But the ones that I resonated with or personally remember would be Michael Lamar many, many years ago, because he was truly passionate about everything he performed. You could tell that he wanted the audience to learn these and learn these correctly. And it was just the raw passion was addicting. It was palpable. And the second would probably be David Williamson, just because the energy and the fun of it, just watching him live, do anything live, is pretty magical. So I would say those are my favorite two lectures that I've ever been to. One because of the pure passion and love, and the other just because of the pure entertainment value, as well as amazing little tips of gold littered throughout. So those are probably my two favorite lectures I've seen in my career.
Thank you, Adam.
So, I think now will be the perfect time to do our take.
Now, this was supposed to just be a fun little segment, because previously we used to critique Dan Harlan's fashion, so we're just going to do a take on Tate. But he's taken that joy away from us, unfortunately, because this is what he was wearing on this lecture.
And this is what he was wearing on this lecture.
And the one before that, he was wearing this.
And then this.
So as you can see, he's very consistent with his fashion choices. I guess it works for him, so if it's not broken, don't fix it. But yeah, it's no critique on him for doing his thing. It's just, why are you wearing the same thing? I don't know. I guess when we wear this, we can't exactly critique people's fashions anyway, can we? So Eric, if you are watching this, we love you and keep doing what you're doing anyway. Don't worry about us.
So finally, we've got a few things coming up in October. We have Chris Capart's thing coming out on Penguin Magic, which is his magic school for street magic. So definitely hop onto Penguin Live Magic and check that one out. I am personally looking forward to it because Chris Capart's going to go through everything in regards to how to build up a crowd, how to get excitement, how to repeat business, blah, blah, blah. So definitely check that out. We also have our Love at First Light premiering on the 9th of October, Australian time, 3 p.m. And then the IBM 102 ring has another little thing coming up on the 23rd called the Oz of Magic, which is on the 23rd of October. So I will post links to that on the shieldsmagic.com. I will post it on Shields Magic Oz Duo on Facebook, Instagram, and Magician Belladonna on Facebook as well.
And all the links will be in the description of the YouTube video.
100%.
Yes.
Till next time.
Thank you very much.
And our next lecturer also is...
Powers?
Mike Powers?
Mike Powers.
So until then, we'll see you then.
Bye. Yeah, get it in there before you go to work. Night. Yeah.
It's martini time.